All right, my curiosity got the best of me this week. I was wondering, who is maybe one of the head pieces of the evangelical church this week? Because when we were kids, it was always Billy Graham. Everyone knew who was the head of Protestant evangelicalism. It was Billy Graham's the number one dude that you tap into. And I feel
remember that Crystal Cathedral guy?
Oh yeah,
Crystal Cathedral.
And I feel we've kind of lost that. I'm who is that now in evangelicalism? So I kind of went searching on YouTube, and I think Steven Furtick is a big name on YouTube. I don't know how big he is in evangelicalism, and I don't know enough to say who's on top these days, but I was hey, why don't we check out, see what's going on there in the sermon territory. And so this was his most popular video called God, How Do I Handle This? So we're just going to watch a little snippet here, a clip of him, not the whole thing.
Yep.
And then we'll react on it, see where it takes us, and we'll just get into it.
Let us do it.
So everything that you need is in your reach. It was something that he had already in his hand that produced what he needed to move forward into the future and to accomplish God's purpose in the earth. I'm moved by that because I get caught up in what I don't have. I know you don't. I didn't say you did. I said I do. Get caught up in what I don't have. But here's the thing the Lord is teaching me. It's less about what you have, and it's more about how you handle what you have. I'll prove it to you. Do you have Netflix? All right, go on Netflix, put it on, I think they have this on Netflix, 30 for 30. It's a documentary series from ESPN. Put it on Broke. Put it on the one called Broke. It will show you athletes that made millions of dollars, and by the time their careers were over, they were in debt. Because it's not what it's what you have. Say it again. Come on with me. It's not what you
have.
It's how you
handle
what you have. That's true with money. I've met rich people who are further behind than poor people. I've met poor people who are greedier than rich people. It's not what you have, it's how you handle what you have. That's what God wants to know. How are you handling it? It's not the woman you married, it's how you handle the woman that you married that determines whether you get the marriage that you want. Now, the selection process is important. You can cook better with good ingredients, but I'm saying that somebody might be able to take your same ingredients and make something delicious. Because it's not what you have, it's how you, that determines what you do. I found out that teenagers think they're busy. They do. They'll tell you, I'm busy. How you doing, man? Oh, God, I'm busy. You're busy? And they're 12 now. They're 13 years old. And I follow up with a question. Do you have a baby? Because if you don't have a baby, you don't know busy. Preach with me. In fact, I want all you busy 13-year-olds. You're so busy. I want you to find a 25-year-old woman in the lobby, one that's got a little car seat that she's trying to carry on the way out the door from church, and walk up to her and tell her how busy you are, and watch her look back at you and take about the next 5 minutes to show you that it's not how much stress you have, it's how you handle the stress that you have that determines. I'm saying you could do a lot more if you handled it differently. You could accomplish a lot more if you handled it differently. It's all in how you handle it.
All All right, I'm sure there were some Bible verses in there somewhere at the front end of that. I know it was somewhere in the middle. I don't know even why I picked that piece, but
I would be doing a disservice to my 12-year-old self if I didn't come in defense of teenagers and 12-year-olds to some degree.
oh, okay.
That can be a tough time, especially if you're in the public institution system, like school.
Yeah,
That's rough. You're going to school with inmates, for Pete's sake, and you're trying to learn a lot at that time, and you're not even working with a fully formed brain yet.
yeah.
Somebody would be like, you need to feel bad about the fact that you're having a hard time. I don't agree with, but I do agree with the sentiment. It's not what you have; it's what I kept saying it wrong every time. It's not what you have; it's
I felt like, wait, what you do with it, or but
what you
that's
do
not
with
he
it,
said.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he said, I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the law of average side of me is like saying, like, yeah, most of the time. Not always. There's exceptions. Life is full of exceptions, right?
Sure is.
So it's like,
it sure is.
yeah. But people tend to like to. I think there's a natural a natural thing about oneself to say that, well, I just, I did everything was right and it just didn't work out for me. So, like there's that side of things where people too easily are swayed towards that side.
Oh, and it's easily to be swayed. You ever felt the endorphin rush when you're clapping in unison with a bunch of other people that agree with the same thing? Nothing feels better than being a part of a team that all agree with the same thing.
Yeah.
But some little bit of truth nuggets can be lost in that.
Yeah.
Like, well, what you said, there's exceptions to like take it ad infinitum. There's exceptions.
Yes.
Life is an exception pool.
Yeah, but don't just automatically assume that you are the exception, and maybe there are some things that you could do to maybe handle something better. I think that is maybe a good message to kind of like go alongside with this. But I think we were kind of laughing a little bit in the beginning there, because it looks like evangelical pastors have upped their game. It's like they're all like jacked now. He's not the only one. What's with all the jacked preachers now? Is that like part of the game now?
Get your life together, brother.
You gotta like join the gym if you want to be.
Well, I feel like there was when I was a little kid, you'd go to church and all the men were in suits, and I don't even know how and then there was like this movement of like almost like hippies that were coming into their own that had infiltrated the church, like Jesus is just all right with me, and then it got really hippie-ish for a while. And I feel like people just crave the elements of masculinity and self-development that have surfaced in organized religion. You know what I mean? Like, let's get our heads on straight here. You know what I mean? We'll just make some hard and fast rules because let's get something done.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's made a resurgence. You don't see the suits, you don't see uniforms like you once did, but they've gone past that sort of hippie-ish mentality, it seems to. Let's get real about Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what seems like what's going on. If that makes any sense. That little
dress codes seem to have gone lax, maybe. But I think a lot of it's cultural, what country you live in, where you are, because, there are probably places right now that are like integrating suits. I guarantee there's probably like a country that was like, we got to get more suits in here and less jogging pants. And
well, only if that's a step up from where they were. If you try to rewind the clock back, that doesn't go very well. It's like, it's shaky and...
Yeah.
But yeah, there are probably some people that are coming into their suit era.
Yeah.
Some places in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need a uniform.
Yeah.
Let's identify ourselves. This is an easy way.
So yeah, Steven Furtick, he's a guy out there. If you guys have a recommendation for someone to react to who's, like an emerging, growing pastor or evangelical representative on the scene, I am always fascinated to see how the church is developing and growing and where they're at in the current time frame. It's I don't know, just someone who's been there, right? But anyway, I won't say any more. I'll leave it at that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time,
Stay spiritual.